What makes an artist truly unforgettable? These days, art is everywhere online and most of it just blurs together. But a handful of living artists have done something almost impossible. They've made their style instantly recognizable. You don't even need to read the label. One glance, one texture, one flash of color, and you know exactly who made it. In this video, we're counting down some of the most unmistakable living artists out there. Think melting paint turned into strange, beautiful nightmares. Sculptors trapping our pop culture inside crystal-covered ruins. Artists who bend pure light to mess with your sense of reality. These aren't just people with a style, they've built entire worlds out of it. Get ready because these are the art styles you'll never forget once you've seen them. Meet Kara Walker, one of the boldest artists working today. She was born in California in 1969 and grew up in Georgia, where a rough culture shock as a teenager opened her eyes to the realities of American racism. That experience never left her, and it ended up shaping some of the most talked about art of our time. Walker is best known for her massive silhouette installations, black paper cutouts, life-sized, stuck straight onto white gallery walls. At first, they look almost playful, like an old-fashioned Victorian shadow portrait. But keep looking, and that comfortable feeling falls apart fast. Her scenes actually pull you into the dark side of the antebellum South, full of violence, power struggles, and buried history. Walker has said the silhouette works almost like a stereotype does. It hands you a simple shape, while hiding something far more complicated underneath. From her sprawling wall piece, gone to her enormous sugar sculpture, a subtlety unveiled in 2014, Walker keeps pushing us to face parts of history we'd rather look away from. Once you see her work, it's hard to unsee it. What if a masterpiece wasn't painted at all, but stitched together? That's the world of Bisa Butler. Born in New Jersey with Ghanaian roots, Butler first trained as a painter at Howard University. But during grad school, something clicked. She thought back to the sewing skills her mother and grandmother taught her and decided to swap toxic oil paints for colorful fabric instead. For 13 years, she taught high school art by day and quietly stitched her own work by night until the art world finally took notice in a big way. What makes Butler's work so striking is how she's completely flipped portraiture on its head. Instead of a paintbrush, she layers fabric. West African wax prints, kente cloth, velvet, even old denim, all stitched together like a puzzle. She starts with old photographs of Black Americans, then blows them up to life size so they look you right in the eye. Instead of plain gray tones, she fills their skin with bold jewel colors like orange, purple, and deep blue, giving them real warmth and energy. Every fabric she picks isn't random either. Each one carries its own piece of history, identity, and strength. Imagine digging up a piece of today's world 10,000 years from now. That's the strange, beautiful world Daniel Arsham builds. Born in Cleveland and raised in Miami, Arsham's fascination with destruction started at just 12, after Hurricane Andrew completely wrecked his childhood home. That experience stuck with him and changed how he thought about permanence. Now he's a major force in art, blending fine art, architecture, and pop culture into one wild vision, turning familiar objects into what feel like ancient relics. He calls his style fictional archaeology. Arsham takes everyday things, like old cameras, cassette tapes, Pokemon cards, even sports cars, and recreates them out of materials pulled straight from the earth. Volcanic ash, selenite, pyrite, the real magic is in the decay. He deliberately cracks and erodes parts of each sculpture, like they've been buried and worn down for thousands of years. Then, inside those hollowed out spots, he grows real crystals like quartz and amethyst. Since Arsham is colorblind, his early work leaned into stark grays and whites, which only makes these future ruins feel more eerie and timeless. In a way, he's freezing our present moment inside a crystal-filled version of the deep past. What if the whole planet was your canvas? That's JR, the French street artist who spent years hiding behind a fedora and sunglasses while quietly flipping the art world upside down. Born Jean René in Paris, everything changed for him as a teenager when he found a lost camera on the subway. Instead of selling it, he started taking photos of his graffiti friends in the Paris suburbs. That's when it hit him. The streets could be a museum with no walls. That idea grew into a global movement, eventually covering the Louvre, the US-Mexico border, and Brazilian favelas in massive art. JR's style is easy to spot. Huge, black and white portraits of everyday people. He calls himself a kind of paparazzi for the people, shooting close-up, wide-angle shots that capture every wrinkle and raw emotion of locals, refugees, and people the world usually overlooks. Using just water and glue, he works with local communities to paste these giant paper prints onto rooftops, shipping containers, and skyscrapers. By putting the faces of ordinary people where ads usually go, JR gets total strangers to look each other in the eye, turning city walls into something that actually brings people together. What happens when you take grand, elegant classical paintings and leave them out to melt in the sun? You get the strange, beautiful world of Genieve Figgis. Born in Dublin in 1972, Figgis didn't take the usual path into the art world. She actually started her formal training later in life, earning her master's degree in Dublin while sharing her work online. Her style was so striking, it caught the eye of major art world figures on social media, launching her straight from the internet into top galleries around the world. Her work is unforgettable because it turns fancy, aristocratic portraits into something like a colorful nightmare. Figgis borrows ideas from old masters like Goya and Boucher, taking their classic scenes of wealth and leisure and twisting them completely. Using bright, candy-like colors, she applies acrylic paint thick and wet onto the canvas, letting it drip and bleed on its own. She lets gravity do a lot of the work, shaping the paint into swirls and marbled layers. The result is jarring, elegant, luxurious settings filled with ghostly, distorted figures, grinning like clowns with faces that look like they're melting away. Imagine taking molten glass, heated to over 2,000 degrees, and shaping it into a massive, almost alien-looking landscape. That's the world of Dale Chihuly. Born in Washington in 1941, Chihuly changed how the world saw glass blowing, pulling it out of craft shops and putting it right into fine art museums. His path wasn't easy. A serious car accident in 1976 left him blind in one eye, and a later shoulder injury made it impossible for him to blow glass himself anymore. But instead of giving up, he took on a new role, the director. He started guiding a whole team of skilled artisans to bring his massive, ambitious visions to life. Chihuly's work is instantly recognizable for its wild, flowing shapes and bright, glowing colors. His huge installations look like coral reefs glowing underwater, or glass tentacles bursting out of museum ceilings and botanical gardens. To make them, his team uses fire, spinning force and gravity, blowing giant molten glass spheres and spinning them fast until they flatten into rippling, uneven shapes. His work blends raw heat with natural beauty so perfectly that one look tells you exactly whose piece it is. What if an artist could get you to stare at basically nothing, and it would still take your breath away? That's the power of James Turrell. Born in Los Angeles in 1943, Turrell was shaped by two big influences: growing up Quaker, which taught him to look inward for light, and his background in psychology and aviation. Instead of paint or clay, he picked a material with no weight at all. For decades, he's been turning empty space into art, even buying an extinct volcano in Arizona to slowly turn it into a giant, naked eye observatory. What makes Turrell's work so unforgettable is that his real material isn't something lit up, it's light itself. He builds spaces called sky spaces and Ganzfelds, smooth glowing rooms filled with shifting fields of color. By removing corners, shadows, and any sense of depth, he tricks your senses completely. Suddenly, light feels thick and solid, almost like something you could reach out and touch. In some of his rooms, an opening in the ceiling frames the real sky so precisely that it looks like a flat painting instead of the actual atmosphere. He's not making images, he's building spaces that make you notice your own perception at work.